Come on, this is an interesting topic because I know there are biologists and chemists that will look at my videos, and you got the hood, you got the hood science too that look at my videos. Yepper. But we're gonna laugh and joke about this a little bit today. I told you, every time I post a video, it's always gonna go back to the sun and genetics, and it's gonna expose to those that are literally picking and choosing what to use for their personal narrative, for their personal gain. This ain't no personal gain with me. This is a universal gain. You see what I'm saying? This is a growth and develop throughout the cosmos, not just me as an individual. So I'm gonna sip my hot juice on that. In case you're wondering what I'm drinking, lemon, lime, cayenne pepper, and cinnamon. Nice and warm for the stomach this morning. Don't worry, I'm gonna get into this, my people here. Come on up in here. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I know. All for one and one for all. Let's get in here and talk about it. I know you bots in here as well. I know y'all gonna show up. Yeah, you know. I know I made it when Instagram allow you to use my own profile picture, use a picture of me. You know what I'm saying? Like something that I have personally copyrighted for me. And you make a false account and using partially, you spelt my name wrong anyway, however, and you literally post things that I'm posting on my page, and even a picture of myself. Like it lets you know, like I know what feathers I'm ruffling, or feather. What's the word you would use? Ruffling. I know what feathers I'm ruffling. I told you every species on this planet has identical DNA except for us. Our DNA doesn't start here on the planet. Our genetics comes from the stars. Starts from the stars. Our genetics does not start here on the planet. I already told you that I believe that chimpanzees was created, and yes, they are a created species. They are a genetic splice. They are a genetic mutation of the original chimp or ape. They are definitely spliced. They're not they're not originally species. They're not the original species on the planet. So is a whole lot of other species, but I'm ready to get into this. I just want this to go up a couple more times. This is about the blood types. People be asking me about blood types. I did a video on my social media on YouTube about blood types. Incomplete dominance versus co-dominance. I have done this already. Blood types are nothing but for breeding purposes. That's all it is. For mixing blood. That's it. Our people, we have fell so hard. We have fell so far to this planet that we honestly think our blood types determine if we're connected to source or not, or we're organic or not. Really? Stop it. A is for apes and monkey. B is for the wolf and the dog. I mean, you really think so, huh? You really think so, huh? You really think so? So I'm gonna drive my point home with the old negative people that be like, I'm old negative, so therefore my blood is organic. No, you're not. Stop it. Stop using blood types to identify yourself, and start using your true genetics. The sun and the cosmos. Use that true genetic right there. Stop using blood types. Blood types was to break you down even further. So let me get into this real fast. The majority of chimpanzees have type A blood, with a smaller number having what? Type O blood. In one study, 85.7% of chimpanzees tested had type A blood, with 14.3% had type O blood. Wild-born chimpanzees were more likely to have what? Type O blood than zoo-born chimpanzees. Wild-born chimpanzees are more likely to have type O blood. So we go back up here again. See, I did this a couple times so that way you don't miss it. Type O blood is in the study was hold on. Let me go. 14%, 14.3% type O. Start over from the beginning. The majority of chimpanzees have type A blood. The majority of chimpanzees have type A blood. So if you A positive, A negative, AB positive, AB negative, that's wolf and monkey or monkey. With a smaller number having type O blood. In one study, 85.7 of chimpanzees tested having type A blood, while 14.3 had type O blood. Wild-born chimpanzees were more likely to have type O blood than zoo-born chimpanzees. Wild-born. Now, when they say wild-born, again, anything you can't control mentally is considered to be wild. So, or in nature. Remember, nature is considered to be wild. Elephants are wild. Hippopotamuses are wild. Lions are wild. Any animal that you have to drug up to force them to do things that is not in their nature to do, that is considered to be wild. So you and I are now considered to not to be wild because we're on drugs and we're docile. So therefore, we allow them to do whatever they want to us, and more importantly, our children. So when you get into these O blood types and you be like, oh, I'm O negative or O positive. No, okay, you have you got the wild born chimpanzee. That's all you got. You just got a wild born chimpanzee blood type. You have a blood type that hasn't been as tainted, but it's still tainted because you have your blood type matches an animal blood type. Our genetics should never match any animal on the planet. This is what you don't understand. This is what you must understand and overstand. But you don't have to. That's your choice. You can look up pig DNA. The same thing. Porcelain DNA. The skin of the pig. The skin is you look at people. You call it whatever you want. Get mad at me all you want. But this is scientific facts. Not making this up. See, the problem is that we hold ourselves to one branch of science. And what I mean by one branch of science, we'll read something and we'll automatically become stable with that. Oh, that fit my narrative, so therefore that's good. But there are other biologists, there are other geneticists out here that have come up with further questioning when it comes down to blood types and what are their purposes. And how do humans match blood types of animals? Because animals have blood types. So how do humans match animal blood types? Because if you look up the word human, it has to affiliate with an animal. See, I know I'm not human. I've been telling y'all this for the longest. We're the human. No, we're not. The matter of fact, excuse me, let me speak for self. I'm not human. You can be human. Most people that believe they're human believe in Most High and the devil in the ground. Yahweh or Yahshua, the God of all creator, this, that, and the third, and some evil joker that's in the ground, because that's your belief. That's because you believe versus knowing. See, if you believe to know versus knowing to believe, you will always walk down these roads and then you start to regurgitate shit without even doing your own research. So I tell people, you can tell me anything, and if I listen to it and it makes sense to my soul, guess what I'm going to do to it next? I'm going to research it and look it up for myself, and I'm not going to take the first biologist's opinion, because most of these biologists, American biologists, European biologists, or geneticists, most of them goes with the David Rockefeller, Jacob Rothschild, the moon. They most of them go with the moon energy, but however, they still have to follow universal laws. So if you read their information long enough, you will see that they still have to tell the truth regarding their genetics. It's up to you if you want to take heed of that or not. So the human is the eukaryotic cell. You better believe it. That's what it is. The human is the complex cell. This is why they say we went from prokaryotic cell to complex cell. Complex cell meaning that they don't know how it formulated itself. That's what it means. It's like, how could that formulate? We don't know. So the scientific terminology for it is eukaryotic or complex cell organism. How did these different type of animals that can't sexually reproduce with one another merge their DNA together to make one whole living organism? So-called black people don't have animal DNA. You can look through this through however lens you want to look through it. Any biologist, any geneticist, any so-called scientist that study amino acids, protein, enzymes, molecules. They will tell you that we do not possess animal DNA. Now, I will tell you what they will say. Well, you show that you have antigens on your cells, not being produced by our cells. They're attached to our cells. Those antigens are from the foods we're eating, from the raping that took place with us that has been passed down through generational curses. You understand? We're eating the same animals that we literally was sexually reproducing with or sexually abusing us. Chicken is the number one thing that so-called black people like. And guess what? That's 60 to 70% of their DNA. Fish is another species that we so-called like, no matter what type of fish it is. Again, that's 85% of that's 80 to 85% of their DNA. So just think about cow, beef burgers, hot dogs, beef ribs. Again, that's 60 to 70% of their DNA. And we're eating those, and those antigens are attaching themselves to our cells. And that weakens our lymphatic system, our lymphatic system, as far as our brain. And that builds up, allow mucus to build up inside of our bodies along with inflammation. And if that's building up inside of your body, your brain is not growing at its normal rate. It's not, you would not be able to function at your optimal what you would call growth and development. You're not performing like you should be. And it's not a scientist or a geneticist that can go against this. All I ask is, again, once I say all of this, I ask the simple things. How do we go from haploids to diploids? How do we start to develop these, what you call sulcus, separations inside of our brain? How do we start to develop that? And what was the other thing? How did we get another species? How did multiple species that doesn't possess scientific intelligence to take their DNA, blood, fuse it together and make one living organism? How is that possible? So again, I'm gonna go over this one more again so we can read this right here, because a lot of people like to go off of the blood types. Chimpanzees have, the majority of chimpanzees have what? Type A blood, with a smaller number having type O blood. In one study, 85.7% of chimpanzees tested have type A blood, with 14.3%. Hold on, Kala had to start over. I quoted at the end. Type A blood with smaller numbers having type O blood. In one study, 85.7% of chimpanzees tested had type A blood, while 14.3% had type O blood. Wild-born chimpanzees were more likely to have type O blood than zoo-born chimpanzees. Zoo-born chimpanzees. Wild-born had a type A blood type. Wild-born had type O. Zoo-born had type A. So now you look at our brothers and sisters, right, that you would consider that's in certain villages in Africa, right? And they be like type O blood. These people are far away from internet, far away from society. They live with the earth and harmonize with the earth. So you will find more likely type O blood type, right? That doesn't mean that they're not eating animals. Doesn't mean that their bloodline hasn't been touched. It just means that they haven't been as touched. So now you look over here in America, those that are born inside of a zoo. Wow, look, chimpanzees that are born inside of a zoo right here. Chimpanzees that are zoo-born chimpanzees. What do our blood types have? A blood type, AB blood type, AB negative, AB positive. This is why you see this over here, majority in America, more or less than O negative, because guess what? We're in their hospitals. Our mothers are being injected with, you don't know what's being injected. You don't know what's in those syringes other than animal genetic material. You don't know at birth, before you turn 2 years old, you already got, if I'm not mistaken, it's either before you turn 1 year or 2 years old, you already got 21 shots. Already got 21 shots as a baby. What's in those shots that they have been giving us? So you don't You can continue to use blood types and say, well, this is my identification. That's on you. Our genes come from the cosmos, and we have fell so far that our melanin has adjusted to the viruses and the diseases that we were once dying from, that is saying, you know, okay, cool, we know what this is now. We can go ahead and let the body sustain. But what's going to happen is you're not going to perform at your optimal performance because you have these toxins that are still attaching themselves to you. So our bodies are not performing the way that we want them to perform because of what we have attached to them, what's constantly being inside of us. So therefore, in this sun cycle, blood types will be what? Irrelevant. Thank you. Blood types will be irrelevant in this sun cycle. So all the people that talk about they O negative, I'm O positive, I got the Anunnaki blood. Yeah, you do got that Anunnaki blood. You you do got that Anunnaki blood. I keep telling y'all, you do got that Anunnaki blood. I got that sun blood. I got that sun blood from the stars, people. I don't have that Anunnaki. Y'all can have that Anunnaki juice. That Anunnaki juice has got you right there, acting like apes and shit, and wanting to be something that you're not, wanting to be human, because you got that Anunnaki juice up in you. As long as you got that Anunnaki juice in you, you're going to believe that there is a supreme being outside of you that's way more advanced to you, that can do way more shit that you can do, instead of saying, the reason why I can't do that is because I'm born in a system that is designed to keep me trapped. However, my mind reached further than my physical vessel. So therefore, I know that the person that's on the other side of this dome, I can do what that individual do. I just can't do it fully in a state that I'm currently in right now. That's all it is. See, it's like a kid that's watching a grown person walk. A kid that never walked watching a grown person walk. See, if the kid saw the grown person walk and said, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that shit, I'm just going to crawl. That's all I'm gonna do is crawl the rest of my life, and I'm gonna cry, but whine, pick me up, whine, whine. See, a kid looked at a grown person and saw them walking. Wow. A kid looked at a grown person just like you looked at a grown person walking, and you said, fuck that, I can do that shit too. Just like you looked at somebody driving a car, you said, fuck that, I can do that too. If you sat there and looked at it and said, well, guess what? They possess the intelligence to do it, and guess what? They're greater than me. See? You got to be kidding me. See, and the only thing separate us is knowledge of self and self-discipline. That's it. See, you can have knowledge of self, but you ain't got self-discipline, you still fuck. You can have self-discipline. If you ain't got knowledge of self, you still fuck, because some people have self-discipline. They not going to commit a crime. They're going to pay their taxes on time. You ever see them? The fucking mail is always shredded on time. The bills are paid on time. The mail is shredded on time. They got their house, got knickknacks everywhere. The house is squared away. You see? Discipline, perfect, not a problem. You can discipline yourself to be an exact slave, or you can have knowledge of self and self-discipline and see how far that truly takes you. How about that? How about that? Instead of getting on your knees and worshiping all the time. So again, see, this is somebody made a joke of me the other day, right? That I didn't know the air pressure to put inside of a tire. So I had to sit there and think about this, right? I said, like, yo, they was like, you didn't know how much air to put in the tire? No, I just filled it. I just filled the tire up. You know what I mean? This is my work vehicle, so I just drive it back and forth, put some air in that joint and let it go. So that made me less of someone because I didn't know the air to put in the tire. I know how much hydrogen and helium to put in this motherfucker right here. See what I'm saying to you? That's the difference. I know how much hydrogen and helium to put in here. See, not oxygen, hydrogen and helium. I know how much shit to put in here, because guess what? The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, they're fusing together right now so it can make sense about the world in which I live in. See, now let me sip this. Let me sip that for one time. Okay. It had to, man. It had to make somebody feel better. See, this is the shit that I'm doing on a consistent basis. See, I'm exercising this mind. See, This part of me right here. So I'm like, what? Couldn't even laugh. I was like, you know, some shit people say to you, it makes you squint. You be like, what? Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I value y'all. I appreciate y'all. This was just a quick lesson regarding blood types. Please do not listen. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but if you don't put your weight on blood types. Blood types are only for mixing blood only, and that's really to keep our blood tainted. Has nothing to do with no other species. It's to keep our blood tainted. We were never supposed to mix blood with these people. In fact, when we first started mixing blood, it infected us so much that we died from venereal diseases. Yes, so-called black woman, you don't even know that you literally died the moment any entity shared any type of blood other than from the solar system with you. You instantly got an infection inside of your body that literally made you die. That's how they were able to wipe so many of us out at an alarming rate, because we was dying from the blood that we was exchanging with one another. We're not supposed to do that. So I appreciate y'all. I did a video, a further video, broke down each blood type and what did they stand for. Basically, it's just no different. If you can look up animals, any animal blood type, chimpanzee, wolf, dog, zebrafish, if you look at those blood types, they all they all carry the same blood type as species on the planet, what you call humans today. They all carry that blood type. And that's why I said majority of these people or majority of these species was actually genetically modified that we are sharing blood with. I appreciate you all. Y'all all have an amazing day. I hope this video was to enlighten you, to bring you to more awareness, self-awareness to who we are genetically and anatomically, because we are different from other species on this planet. That doesn't mean that these species are beneath us, but they're not genetically superior than us. And that's the issue. It has nothing to do about to the point that we want to enslave you. I can care less about enslaving you. That means absolutely nothing to me, to be truthful and honest with you. You whipped my ass with a chain. You did medical experimentations on us. You hung us. You took pictures of us. You set us on fire. Cool. You did all that shit. That's over and done with, in my opinion, because slavery was a choice. Because, see, I know for a fact, me as a person, me as an individual, I know I wouldn't go for this shit then, because I'm not going for it now. So this is how I know that it's either in you or it ain't in you. And most of the people that want to talk about it's in you, it ain't really in you, because when it is only in you, you don't have a lot of worldly friends. You understand? Your friends come from the solar system. Your worldly friends, they don't come with you because they can't really vibrate with you, because you know why? Because they really want to play in this world, and they make excuses about how they function in this world. And you're not making excuses no more. You see what I'm saying to you? You know, you're not making no excuses no more. You take full accountability for your actions, and you say, listen, I'm moving forward. This is why this is the difference. I keep telling brothers, don't leave an impression in a woman's head to say, damn, this nigga made me come the hardest. Leave an impression in her mind and this nigga made me think the hardest. This nigga made me think the most. Because guess what? If you leave that in their head to make them think the most, every nigga that they choose to lay down with, the fact after they lost you, what they gonna be thinking about? They're going to constantly, they're not going to compare dick sizes. They're not going to compare sex positions. They're going to compare the integrity of that fucking man. And then they have to look back on themselves to say, damn, I chose another one to literally have experience with, but not have a future with. And the same thing go vice versa with a woman. See, you test a man by saying, what is the vision that you have for yourself, and what is the vision that you have in case we have a child with one another, instead of winging it. Because most babies that people that get pregnant are winging it. You're just winging it. Y'all go out to the movies, y'all go get something to eat, y'all have a few drinks. Next thing you know, y'all fucking, and fucking was good. And then after 3-4 months down the line, you got pregnant. But then you get pregnant, and then now he's fading the back, or you're fading the back, and y'all don't know what to do. Instead of being excited and happy that this chemical reaction took place, that now you're creating a suit for another vessel to come in here, so that way that they can be another vessel that can cement themselves amongst the stars instead of being another human on this planet. See, that is what you should be at. But a lot of us don't want to look at that like that, because that comes with pressure. That comes with responsibility. That comes with discipline. I appreciate y'all all. Have an amazing, supreme, cosmic day. Ha!